Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from Mason Works Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone. And I am so excited to introduce you to someone whose life is a living testament to the power of presence and divine love, my friend, Kimberly Braun. Hi, Kimberly.
Hello, Kathy. Great to be with you again. So thank you for that loving introduction.
Oh, of course, because I'm a huge fan. So, Kimberly, for people that haven't met you before and don't know about your wonderful books and all of the wonderful classes you've given and your story, could you give them a little taste of your journey from Ohio to being a nun?
A whirlwind. Yes. So, when we get older, there are so many details that go into our story, and how to pull out what's most salient is always a dance. Growing up in Cincinnati up until when I was 11, and my life was characterized by a lot of loving community and family. And my spiritual life was very vibrant from a very young age, in nature, in ritual as a Catholic that was life-giving for me, in my family construct where their kindness was a rule. And that was a wonderful container that let me open up to experiences that are not 3D. I had a lot of multidimensional experiences, unitive experiences with the divine. I think children have a lot of these kinds of experiences, and the difference is whether we remember them or not, or whether they get shrouded or not. And they stayed alive for me. So we moved to Florida after that. And my mom and dad were always really involved in our church and charismatic movements and youth retreats and things like that. So it was a fertile ground for me to be open to my own healing gifts that came alive, principally through the gift of prophecy and healings happening through prayer for others and for myself. Then I went through a massive dark night, which would take a whole podcast to go into, but emerged through the other end with my mystical experiences and my inner life exploding in richness and breadth and depth. So for 5 years, that was like a honeymoon period with spirit for me, coming through the other side of that darkness. And during that time, I worked with the homeless, and I was pretty much just immersed in this honeymoon. And finally, the fire of love was so great in my heart, and synchronicity lined up a lot of mystics to come into my life that were all Carmelites that had lived in prior years. With those two ingredients, I naturally gravitated to a monastic lifestyle. And when I was 24, I joined a monastery that was Carmelite and remained there, even taking solemn vows at 4.5 years. But I was there for 10.5 years, living in the rhythm of farming the land, chant, meditation, inspirational reading, praying for the world, becoming as wide as the cosmos, exploring the path of presence. And as often happens in all of our lives, when we're really open to spirit, dramatic changes happened, and I got called to build a monastery. So it jettisoned me into the local community. And with that, I began working with hundreds of people, participating in the manifestation of an immense miracle, which is my third book that just came out. It talks about that miracle. And as oftentimes happens when our world changes dramatically and we are up-leveled in spirit, everything else changes too. Unknown to me, my next call ended up being to leave the monastery. And it wasn't to leave knowing what I was moving into in service. It was simply that it was my next step in love. Universe lined things up. I got a scholarship to do grad work and seminary training. I explored what it means to awaken as an adult, to self-realize. And for the past 25 years, I have now been traveling at the service of that. Keynote talks, retreats, meditation coaching, writing books, making videos, and doing whatever I can to be a friend to others on that journey. So that's my whirlwind tour. 60
Wow,
all in 3 minutes.
that's impressive. Well, I have to say, anyone that gets a chance to be with Kimberly, whether it's through her books, her videos, her classes, or an in-person environment, there's this joyful, loving reunion with yourself that is felt. I mean, there's been times you did that one reading at, I think it was Steve Bross's house, and I remember you asked questions from the audience, and it was real obvious. Some people got what you were doing, and some people didn't. And you just held space, this loving space for whoever could actually experience the gift that you were sharing. It was there for them, but they got whatever they could out of it. It was fascinating to see. It was very cool.
I remember this moment. That was lovely.
So I also want to ask a little bit about your new book. Do you have a copy of it handy? Nope.
Do you know what? It's in my car. I failed. The cover looks a little like this.
Okay.
So this is another book. It's on poetry, but it's called Miracles in the Naked Light. My
Okay.
failure. I've always got a book next to me when I'm doing a podcast, and I failed because I'm in festival mode.
Oh, it's okay. Well, I just want to make sure that people understand the person that's doing this work so that the grounding of the energy is palpable. I mean, that's what I want people to understand is that Kimberly has a way of unifying people and bringing people together in this joyful reunion. And I keep saying joyful reunion because I really see her role of us remembering who we really are at the core instead of the outside chaos, that there's this beautiful divine connection possible through your poetry, through your work, through everything you do, really.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So the latest book, Miracles in the Naked Light, takes you deep into a powerful chapter of my life when I received the call to build a massive monastery with no experience. And our community had close to no money. And it is the process of not me reflecting on the process and giving you my takeaways or my analysis, but rather immersing you in the synchronicity, in the insights, in the personal evolution, in the magnanimous miracle that happened in the community, and using the building of the monastery as a way of letting you touch that, because we all are called to live a miraculous life. We are all called to live in such a way that we're the flow of inspiring events, so much so that we don't use the word miracle as though it's a surprise, but miracle becomes a way of talking about it with awe and wonder and gratitude. And it's a massive, you can watch my TEDx talk on my website. It's a really amazing project. So that book lets you come close, and it's on Audible as well, read by me.
Oh, cool. So I know that because I got to hear the story several times, that there's something about surrendering and believing in the divine that allows you and hopefully inspires others to take these leaps of faith into sharing their genius or sharing their contribution to this this play we're in. And that's what I love about what you're doing. It gives other people permission or a role model to see that surrender is really important.
Yes, I think it's an operative principle. And it's even, I think it's, for me, what is even more true is this, a surrender into the unknown. So even as we surrender more and more to this awakening process, if you want to call it that, uh, even the concepts that we have around what it is begin to be dismantled because it's so wordless. So surrender's operative. Is divine a word I use? Absolutely, because it offers me an anchor point or a pointer to what I'm speaking about: eternal consciousness, ineffable love. All these words are things that we can surrender for the sake of or into. But even that shows us that it's very limited. Even what we understand is so small.
Well, what I love about the opportunity to listen to you and other mystics is that it gives me the language to explain and integrate experiences that I've had when I've had out of body or supernatural kind of experiences that there wasn't a coach or someone there to help you go, oh, well, that's this and this is this. I had one over 20 years ago. I'm still integrating. So I love it when I can be around people that have a skill at describing without losing the beauty and the essence of the energy and the feeling of it. It helps me integrate. Do you find that too with others?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and I think that's well put, because we are in a playground that we are both made for and is beyond our comprehension at the same time. It's very paradoxical. So when we speak about it, when we put words to it, when we attempt to touch in, even when words fall short, by virtue of them falling short, we touch what it is. All no's have a certain yes in them. So yeah, talking about it can really give us um, more to hold on to and to digest, so that we feel more confident in who we are and what life is about.
Well, I think there is something about having someone else validate so
Yeah.
you don't think you're crazy. The idea that there's words to to express the emotions or the sensations that happen when you do connect at a much higher frequency, whether or not you call that source or God or whatever name you give it. But that silence, um, that that silence that loves you so completely is difficult to explain to anyone else once you've had that experience. And it kind of is disorienting, I guess, is the best way to
Mhm.
explain.
Yeah. Yeah. And disorienting is a very powerful word, isn't it? Because to orient is to have a position. And when you are disoriented, your position disappears. It's not that reality around you has disappeared or changed, it's that your position in relation to it has. And that's a very healthy thing to happen for us.
Especially now, because I think that's why we came here, was to help create this new world where people are experiencing oneness, that people are aware of their multidimensionality, that they're more embodied rather than out of their body. But there's so many different aspects that this can benefit. So I'm going to segue this same connection that you have with the divine that you share with everyone, and it's just in your being. I don't know if you're a natural or not, but, but you have an amazing capacity to connect and deeply see the other. Deeply, it's definitely not egoic. You're definitely invested in the other people in your perspective. I think the next step for you after it was words was music, because music doesn't, unless it's too loud, it doesn't alert the ego to protect or to, clamp down. Music allows all of that beautiful energy to flow through. So, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience with music, and then we can go to the site? Okay.
Absolutely. You know, you've made a really great observation. And I mean, I, like many kids, I'm one of those children that loved music from a very young age. And I noticed that my love of music was always relational. And so music would be, I loved singing at church, just singing in the congregation, not being part of a choir or a soloist, and I would sing those songs all the time. And then even when I sang other music that was out there, there was a lot of folk music out at the time, I would sing it to someone. So I would sing, there was a song I sang for my dad, and there was a song that I sang for God. And music was a big part from early on. And then it gained breadth and dimension when I learned to play the guitar, and I would sing praise and worship songs. So very devotional, very devotional. And then when I joined the monastery, here we are chanting 5, 6 hours a day, sometimes 7 hours a day. So the sound, the tones, the energetic transmissions that happen in what we can call forms of music or forms of sound always bore such impact on me. I know that even when I would take the compost out, which was my job for 4.5 years in North Dakota, I would always sing love songs, and I would pull from every popular love song that maybe was written for, a physical partner. And it was always God for me. It was always, so I, I think I've never not sung songs to the beloved, as I call it. And so being in the monastery and experiencing the power of how the chant healed and massaged my being and helped me grow and mature through the tones, through the energy, through the transmission of the meaning of the chant, was very, very life-changing, and plunged me into something that's a paradox. It plunged me into silence. So we think of silence as an absence of audible sound, but for me, silence became very clearly the place where all sound is happening on subtle levels. So it's been a massive part. And then ever since I've left, I dance back and forth because my schedule is so full that I'm not involved in music as much as I'd like to be, but I love it deeply and dearly. And I know we're moving into a project that I'm doing in service to the community, but it's after my own heart too. It's like in service of me too.
Well, and you have a beautiful voice. So we both were at an event last Sunday, and Kimberly was sitting behind me, and we both were, there was a sing along, and you could hear us. Must be the Cincinnati girls here.
Yes.
Anyway, so this is a perfect segue to talk about your event that's coming up on the 15th of August here in Colorado. So is it okay if I bring up
Yes.
let's,
Absolutely.
okay, and please direct me how you want. So here's the website. It's BLISS Chant chantandsacredsound.com.
Correct. Yeah, just go right to the homepage.
Oh, isn't it on? Can you see it?
I don't
Oh,
see it.
sorry. I was up. Sorry.
There
I
we
thought
go.
I was. Sorry.
So the banner says a lot. Uh, it is a convergence. It's all local contributors. Local meaning anywhere from Colorado Springs up around through Fort Collins, including all the cities like Lyons and Golden and Erie and Arvada and Boulder and Longmont. So it's in Longmont, but it pulls together contributors from this larger region. And I was inspired because I've been deeply moved by the power and presence of sound modalities for healing and transformation in this area. And I put ancient wisdom and modern discoveries because it is a wealth that's right here for us when it comes to science and spirituality. I could have put science and spirituality, but I didn't want to limit it to science or spirituality. Ancient wisdom could be from any pool of wisdom. Modern discoveries could be from any pool of modern technology and research. And we have a tapestry of a schedule that's very immersive. There are music sessions, there are sound healing experiences, there are presentations to understand the building blocks of various technologies. And so this weekend is all about immersing ourselves in sound, frequency, and vibration. And everybody that you'll see are people you can connect with easily after the event. It starts on Friday, August 15th, goes through Sunday, August 17th. And you can see below my sponsors, which are awesome. So see Reset down, and all three of these sponsors on the right, they're all from Denver. So big shout out for Denver.
Yay.
See Reset is a brain echo technology that uses your own healthy brain patterns to heal the unhealthy brain patterns.
Wow.
And then Rios is a very high energy structured water company that is providing hundreds of gallons of free water for us all weekend. You will never go without water. And it's not just the reverse osmosis and all these high things you can do for water. He takes it to new levels, and he's going to explain that research. He's even sent things to the Emoto Foundation and gotten tests back on what his water looks like. And the resonance room is a new textured, sensual sound project that Denver Percussion has just created. They just launched it 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So they are magnificent. They are perfectly aligned with what we're doing. And I hope you'll come even just to see them. They're really phenomenal.
Do you want me to go to exhibitors or?
Let's go to contributors first.
Okay.
And then we'll walk down exhibitors. So
okay.
I have more than 52 musicians, each having a different way they bring forward sound. Bob is didgeridoo. Arwen, we'll scroll, there's so many. Arwen's shamanic Cherokee, and she was also a former Tibetan Buddhist nun.
Wow.
Danya and Eyal bring a Hebrew kirtan, and they are of that tradition. Bhakti Shakti, it's a Hindu inspired.
And they're great.
They're amazing. Christina Sophia, Knock Your Socks Off.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Like transmission galore. Merlin, the depth of creativity will help you get into your belly and your body and do a walking labyrinth with sound improv happening. Sarah's going to go into how you hold trauma, the vibration of trauma in your cells, and how you can move that through. Philip is going to get into the frequencies of cannabis plant and how communing with plants is a very powerful way to enliven your life. And then following that right away, we've got Teresa with her singing plants with Kathy Knows Well.
Yes.
So come, if you've never heard singing plants, you have to come. They are hooked up with electrodes and they bathe. They just bathe the space with their audible tones.
We did a co-creators convergence one year where we didn't have background. We didn't have it choreographed with music at all. We just had several of the plants hooked up, and it was magnificent. I mean, and they were happy plants.
They sure are. They sure are. I know. I'm really excited about it.
And she's delightful. She's a delightful person. And Jeannie's delightful.
Jeannie's delightful, and her sounding will be on the myth and goddess deity Durga. She'll be
Oh,
exploring that vibrationally. Makesha is truly a medicine song. She's calling it cosmic song. Her tones of the earth will really elevate you, and they'll be doing cello with that, which is amazing.
wow.
Divino Betsori will do an acoustic out at the fire pit. So there's 3 locations. There's the barn, there's an insight tent, and we're calling it the fire of illumination pit.
That's cool.
Arwen will be giving a talk of overtones, which is a very ancient form of accessing the higher realms. Sarah Rain is a master when it comes to Sufi, and last year we had like 100 people gather around her as she brought them into the Sufi inspired songs.
It's wonderful, Kai.
Kai malas are her magic, and she's going to open up the power of having objects as a part of our sound experience. Gina will be giving the talk on the brain ecosystems. Scott and Shanti, truly ecstatic chant and embodied meditation, knock your socks off.
And that's the Star House, that picture. They're amazing.
Yes, they are. Heidi will be going deep into the Ayurvedic Marma points, which are energetic points in the body that Ayurveda uses for healing. Katie Wise will be taking us deep into the intimacy of her chant. I was thinking, it's like sacred humanity. She dips into the human experience, and her songs that you can sing with just move you on those levels of your own human experience.
She's a powerful voice.
Yeah. Lori Grace, neurobiology, microcirculation, another frequency and vibration technology with Beamer. Mothership Kirtan, talk about the feminine play. That's that. And then Guyan will be doing Global Village. So he'll be pulling from all sorts of global songs that everybody can sing. And last year, everybody was even getting up on stage and adding a line. I mean, it was
so cool.
Really powerful.
He's an amazing percussionist.
He is. Sarah, so she will be transmitting a improv, spontaneous vocalization that is truly angelic, which will move right into Tibetan bowls and deep throat mantra through with Paul.
Oh, it's amazing. Whole temple.
Yeah. And that's only just Saturday. So it's a Sunday, and you can start the day with crystal bowls. If you've never started the day with crystal bowls, it's such an activating way to get your whole body open to the expansiveness. And right after that, we'll be having a Buddhist mantra in the Insight Tent. At the same time, a partner Sound of Love journey with Native American flute, largely with James and Sarah Kate. Akam's founding mantra with the oneness community. You're going to learn more about it and get to do it. Brigitte Mars and Bethy Lovelight, 2 beloved people. We're going to take you on a full body galactivation through homeopathic essences, chakra activation, sounding, all wrapped up in one big bow. Sri Devi, the heart of simple devotion. They are just, if you've never chanted with M, she will open up the energy centers of your whole body in a way that will be so consoling. And then right after that, you've got Dances of Universal Peace, Jen Friedman, masterful leader. Katala is doing at the Insight Tent, a sounding of animal-inspired impressions with 3 musicians. It'd be very, very, oh gosh, very expansive. I don't know how else to put it. I keep using that word over and over. Tommy's getting into the beats and the bhakti, and Tommy's like got a little bit of grit, and he's got a heart of gold. Yep. She talked about like a massive heart. You can chant with him. And then if you've never done circle singing out of the fire pit, you're going to learn how to sing in a group where you kind of overlay, like one person's going ba 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 ba, and somebody else is going and then it all comes together and sounds wonderful.
Oh, cool.
Tara is going to draw upon Lakota tradition to get us in touch with the sound of Grandmother Earth. Lauren and Damon are going to do an exquisite cacao ceremony with silent sounding. You put on the earphones and you do your own dance to the sounds that they have orchestrated.
Oh, cool.
And then John Crowder and Rebecca and Sierra will bring alive the Radiant Sutras. So it will be an on-the-spot channeling of the Radiant Sutras text, put all to music.
Wow. And look at the light-filled people in this, all of the pictures.
Final set, right?
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
Everybody contributing songs at the end.
Wonderful.
The schedule in the exhibitor group, I've got 40 exhibitors, and I would say 32 of them, I think, will all be offering interactive, private healing sound sessions. And then the others all have inspired products that work with your body and your heart and your mind as part of that healing as well.
Yeah, you really should go to the site because you're going to be drawn in. Like some of the pictures, you'll go, do I know that person? I mean, it's these people, their energy is connects out.
Yes.
From their pictures. It's really amazing. And the exhibitors are wonderful. You can have lots of different experiences. You can have readings or healings or byproducts and you really have an experience. You know, I don't know how you're going to get to do it all. That's all.
Yeah, what's really nice about it is I tried to craft the schedule. You can't do it all, but that's the beauty of offering more than what you can do, is that you get to get in touch with what's drawing you and not feel beholden to try to fit it all in. And we're situated on this big land with a lake and places you can just throw a blanket and rest for a little bit, mountain views, and really allow the experience to be moving for you. But I kept the exhibitors also not too many, so it's not sensory overload. So you're not trying to get to every exhibitor and collect as much material. You're really invited into that connection. It's really connection.
Well, last year was your first year and you did a different location. Could you give us a little bit more of a sense of what the gift was, the takeaway was, so that people understand that this is not only is it a community project, so you're strengthening the community here and it's changing the frequency of the community here, but you're also healing yourself. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you said it quite well. I keep pitching the festival to be like a retreat as well. So think about when you set your mind on taking some kind of retreat or even a day just for yourself and your personal growth. This is like that. You come out and as much as you open your heart is going to be met. As much as you open your mind is going to be met. It is curated to be a very high vibration of integrity. And I found that last year after the event, everybody was flying high for like a month. I mean, the level of joy that it unleashed in those that participated, I couldn't go anywhere without people just coming up to me and holding me and hugging me and telling me what it was like and what it meant. And you're also going to form longer term relationships, whether it's with a healing practitioner, with a new mode of sound that you'd never tried before, and now you want to follow up because these are all local people. Or whether it's a friend that you meet that's sitting right beside you, you're going to make lasting connections, and not in a way that's like this high intensity network marketing, but more in the relaxed environment that you can let down and be you, and you're going to be met there.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I love that idea because these changing times, a lot of people, especially with the solar activity and all the things changing in our world, I don't listen to the news very much, so I can't tell you all of that, but the frequency is chaotic. And anything that you can do to give yourself the gift of peace and community.
Yeah, amen. I know that what we're doing is rippling out to all the world. So there is a global intentionality around this as well.
Yes, and for people that are in Colorado, we are so lucky that Kimberly took on this project as a gift to all of us. And I'm very excited to help promote this any way I can so that people will know that they're not alone, that there's so much more exciting things to learn and experience,
Yeah.
and that there's so many more gifts available for all of us.
Yes. Yes. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get inspired to do this? I mean, was it another one of those God told you to do the monastery?
I know.
God told you to be a nun. Then God told you to build a monastery.
God told me to leave. God told me to go to seminary. God told me. You know, it was a little more subtle than that. It was, I used to teach at Omega a lot in New York, years. And when I was there, they'd always let me dovetail into the ecstatic chant weekend because they knew how much I loved it. And I always had this feeling like, wow, I'd love to just create something like that. Because when I was in the monastery, I had it every single day. This real immersion in this high vibration sound. And so coupled with the experience at Omega, it wasn't on the bucket list, like I'm going to create this someday. It was more the natural progression of witnessing the amazing people we've got here in this area of the country and wanting to bring everybody together, wanting to cross-pollinate. I'm a connector, so I want the Buddhist to meet the Hindu, to meet the neuroscience person, to meet the Native American, to meet the cacao person. I want everybody to meet, because when you meet people of like-heartedness and you each have your passion, good comes from it. So it was like, it just was a natural, like, well, the easiest way to help everybody meet is just to have a festival. Just pull an event together where everyone's together.
Yeah, but anyone that's done that knows how much work this has been.
Right.
Because yeah, so you're feeling, are you presenting quite a bit too? Because I saw you in a couple of these pictures, but are you actually doing on the time slot?
A tiny bit. Last year I was in the schedule more. I did 2 things last year. But this year, because of the way the festival's grown and the land being much larger, I didn't think it would be responsible on my part to book myself when I may be needed. Now, I was blessed that the flow went great last year. It looks like it's going to go smooth as pie this year. Yeah. But I'm the go-to person if something happens. So if I'm up on stage leading a chant and something happens that needs me, I've then just compromised my role as the creator. So this time I didn't. But what I did is I'm part of the little opening, which is we're all together anyway and all on the stage. So there's nothing that can happen outside that opening. So that made sense to be part of that. And I'm a small part of the closing. I'll offer one chant at the closing as I do all the thank yous to everybody. So that made more sense. I would love in the future to offer more, because my particular mystic expertise is not represented in the festival. I don't have that there. the Christian mysticism and some of that. I didn't find somebody that has that to bring to the festival yet. So I would like to be able to bring that to the festival, and probably next year would be the year that could happen.
Oh, that's exciting. So, and Boulder is such an amazing hub with Naropa being here and the University of Colorado and this whole area being Sounds Truths here, Gaia TV. I mean, we have a lot of the natural foods industry started. A lot of it started here. So we have a lot of people that are looking to create the new world, the new earth here.
Yeah.
And so it could be a big part of the energy that's built, that we stand on to build.
That.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe so.
So again, could you share the dates and a little bit about how to get tickets and all of that?
Absolutely. So it's August 15th through 17th. The website is blisschantandsacredsound.com. There you can link through to tickets. You can do a day pass. You can do a weekend pass. You can check out the schedule, target things you want to make sure you get to do and attend. You can camp if you want. We've got a few spots left. That's a separate form, but it's on the website. If for some reason money is an issue and that's the reason you can't come, then email me, Kimberly at Kimberly Braun, and let's work something out. While I need to pay for the festival, I also don't want money to be a reason that somebody couldn't come if they're really drawn to be there.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, and your website is kimberlybraun.com. And I think people that go there will get a better idea of the opportunity they have to either work with you in a class or through your books or through retreats, where they can get a feeling of being safe as they journey through their traumas and clear their own field to accept more love and more light. And so you're a huge resource for so many. You just came back from Spain, I think. Is that right? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that before we go?
Yeah, I usually lead a lot of retreats. Post-lockdown, I'm leading less retreats, but they're still coming up. And it was a retreat. It was a 10-day retreat. We took the mystic writings, mainly the poetry, but not only that, of John of the Cross and Teresa of Avila, which are 15th century mystics. We went to the very places that they had these ecstatic experiences. So we were in the vortex of that energy, and we let the poetry itself be the frame for the retreat. And I curated all of the content. We had 4 sessions a day, in addition to all of the wonderful things we enjoyed about Spain. My retreats are, in a very gentle way, very transformative. Everybody walks away. I think anybody that does a retreat with the right intention will walk away changed and renewed. And mine, in a particular way, usually opens great new doors to somebody to encounter themselves.
Beautiful. And it feels like it's a lot of the divine feminine. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it feels like a lot of times is coming through. It's a balance, but it feels, because even women are out of alignment with their divine feminine in this society. So I also wanted to ask about the El Camino. Is that near where you just did your retreat? That's in Spain also, Spain, where it's a pilgrimage trip?
Yeah, I did. I walked one of the routes back in 2019 when I was there leading a retreat.
Wow.
So there are many, 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 many routes that are the Camino.
Oh.
The landing place, the end point, is the same in Compostela. And that's where the legend has it. And they've exhumed the body where James, who was one of the either brothers or disciples of Jesus, he was very loved in Spain. Then for some reason, this is the story, for some reason he went back for a council in Jerusalem and he was killed. But the Spanish, whoever was in Spain, loved him so much, then they knew him. They made it over to Jerusalem. I think it was Jerusalem and not Rome. It might have been Rome. I should fact check that. They absconded his body and they covered him and put him in a boat and wheedled the boat along the Portugal coast all the way up into an inlet that goes in towards, doesn't reach, but goes in towards the town Santiago de Compostela. And they buried him in an unmarked grave at first because they didn't want him discovered. And miracles started happening at that grave site. So then they exhumed the body and they're like, oh my gosh, because I guess they must have put identification with him. So then they built a big church around him. And then, like any miraculous sites, people started walking for miracles, walking for certain intentions. Now it's become a universal symbol of pilgrimage. You get people from all backgrounds, all nationalities, all spiritualities, even some with no spirituality they would claim, but they walk it with intention. And the popular route that goes across the north of Spain from the Pyrenees is the one most people assume is quote unquote the route, but there are many routes. There are many routes because people were just walking from all over Europe to get to there. So there are as many routes as you can walk on roads, right?
Well, I think that anytime you spend a week or more absorbed in contemplation and in inner work, and what you're offering at the Bliss Festival is a weekend, which could change your life. When you get into that field of energy and that opportunity to remember who you are, is all available to us now that we're out of lockdown. I mean, people that are listening to this could easily get on a plane and come to Colorado. So we're only an hour from the Denver airport.
Yep. Amen to that. Travel is easy these days. Take advantage of it for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Kimberly, thank you so much. Are there any final words that you'd like to share with the audience?
I would say, if you are listening, there is a source welling up that is the center of your being, and it is always calling you, always there, holding, guiding, inspiring. It is you in the capital Y of that. And your one joy, your one fulfillment is to assent to that inner movement. And you don't have to worry about getting it right, figuring it out, making mistakes or not. It is constantly there, constantly welling up within you. You have only to remember again and again and again until remembering ceases to be.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, bless you. Thank you. You made my day. Thank you. So please, everyone, if you enjoyed this, please share this with your loved ones, or if you know anyone in this area that you think this might benefit, this could be the healing that your loved ones need for this long weekend or a weekend event where you really get to experience fearless, no fear, just pure love and pure high vibrational connection, and it'll be transformative. So thank you so much, Kimberly. Thank you for everything you do. You're amazing.
So are you. Thanks.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Bye, everybody.